Pick almost any anime you have watched recently and trace it back far enough. Before the animation studio, before the manga artist, before any of it existed as a single drawn frame, there is a strong chance you will find something else entirely. A slim paperback novel sold in a Japanese convenience store with a manga-style illustration on the cover and almost no illustrations at all inside. That book is called a light novel, and it is quietly responsible for an enormous share of the anime you already know. So what actually is one, and why does so much of an entire industry start there? A light novel is a short, fast-reading Japanese novel, typically aimed at teenagers and young adults, usually released as part of an ongoing series, with new volumes arriving every few months rather than all at once. The word light does not mean simple subject matter. It means light to read, shorter chapters, simpler prose, frequent dialogue, and a handful of manga-style character illustrations scattered through an otherwise ordinary block of text. This format did not appear out of nowhere. It grew through the 1970s and 1980s out of Japanese youth fiction magazines, gradually shifting toward the illustrated, fast-paced style readers now associate with the genre, before publishers began releasing them as standalone paperback volumes with a dedicated readership of their own. Here is the detail that matters most for understanding anime today. In Japan, publishing houses often control the entire pipeline of a story's life, from first draft to final animated adaptation, all under one roof. A light novel is frequently written first. If it sells well enough, the same publisher commissions a manga adaptation, redrawing the story in full comic form for an even wider audience. If that also performs well, the publisher can then pitch the property to an animation studio for a full anime adaptation. This is precisely why so many anime openings still carry the phrase, based on the light novel by, credited alongside the studio's own name. There is an even newer twist to this pipeline that barely existed 20 years ago. A large number of modern light novels did not start as novels at all. Many began as free, serialized stories, posted chapter by chapter on Japanese amateur writing websites. Most famously one called Shosetsuka ni Naro, meaning, roughly, let's become a novelist. Ordinary writers, often with no publishing background whatsoever, post chapters directly to readers for free, sometimes for years, refining their story through direct audience reaction in the comments. Publishers actively watch these platforms for standout stories, then offer the most popular ones an official print deal, professional illustrations, and, eventually, an adaptation pipeline of their own. Sword Art Online, one of the most recognizable anime franchises internationally, followed almost exactly this path. It began as a free web novel before ever becoming an officially published light novel series. This explains something viewers often notice without quite naming it. A huge number of modern anime share startlingly similar premises. A character transported into another world. A hidden power system explained in careful, methodical detail. Chapter structures that feel almost episodic even before any animation exists. That pattern is not coincidence. It is the direct fingerprint of source material written for readers who consume a chapter at a time, on a phone, often for free, where a story has to hook them again and again just to keep them reading tomorrow. So the light novel is not simply where an anime's story originally came from. It is closer to the industry's actual research and development stage, a cheap, fast way to test whether a story, a character, or an entire fictional world can hold an audience's attention long before a studio commits the enormous time and money required to animate a single frame of it. This is also why so many long-running light novel series feel oddly unfinished when their anime adaptation ends. A single season of television can only cover a handful of volumes, while the source novel series may already run into the dozens, still being written, one new installment at a time, long after the anime credits have rolled. That gap is precisely why so many fans, once they finish an anime they loved, go looking for the light novel next. Not as a footnote to the story, but as the very place the story actually began. By the time you are watching the finished anime, with its full color, its voice acting, and its animated fight scenes, the story underneath has often already been tested, rewritten, and proven, one free chapter at a time. Now you know.